Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Today I've got a story time for y'all about a Karen that decided to take on a tractor herself. I've never seen anyone try to fight a tractor, but I figured it would make a pretty entertaining story time. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so like I said, one of my subscribers ended up sending this in to me, and I guess he lives and works on a farm, and the way that their fields are set up, he has like one field right behind his house, and then another field that's across the street, down a dirt road a bit. It's not insanely far to the point where like he literally drives his tractor to the other field pretty often just to take care of it, you know, and for the most part, because he's on a farm, everyone around him's usually a farmer, so there isn't too many issues or complaints about tractors on the road because everyone gets it. Like, listen, I'm not saying it wouldn't be weird for a tractor to just be going down the middle of the Las Vegas Strip, alright? But you have to remember that if you're in an area with a bunch of farmland, it's not weird to see farm vehicles, and it especially isn't illegal, you know? There's no reason they would just come arrest the farmers for doing their job. And obviously, because they lived in the area, the cops kind of knew what was up, and so therefore they would take the farmer's side if anyone ever had any complaints. Anyways, the only time he was ever on like a real road with this tractor, you know, a paved road with signs and stuff, was literally to go from like this field that they owned on this side across the street to the other side, and then there was a dirt road that was used. And so obviously there's not a lot of time the tractor's spending on the road, and whenever it is on the road, everyone just kind of looks the other day. But on this particular day, he gets across the street and starts going down this dirt road, and he sees another car coming his direction, which happened from time to time. Anyways, as the car's coming, he just kind of assumes that it's another farmer or someone in a truck or something that kind of knew what was up, because why else would any car be on these back roads, right? And the way it worked, if there's another car coming, is you both just kind of pulled to the side, and it laid enough room for both of you to get by if you went relatively slow past each other. He had done it plenty of times at this point, but as he's getting closer to the new car, he realizes that it's not like a farmer's truck, it's not a truck at all, it's a brand new Range Rover. Which, listen, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the new Range Rover. It's obviously a very nice car, but keep in mind that you're in the literal middle of nowhere on a dirt road no one uses, except for like the other farmers he occasionally runs into. But either way, it doesn't really matter. The formula's gonna be the same. They're just gonna have to go really slow, pull over a bit, and everything should be okay. It's not like a truck is any smaller than a Range Rover in terms of how like the size of it, right? But whatever, when they get close to each other, the Range Rover just stops and starts kind of honking over and over and over again. And the person driving the tractor is confused and assumes that someone's hurt or something's wrong, because otherwise why would this person just be like spamming on the horn for no reason? So he gets out to go look and make sure everything's okay and that they don't need help. And as he gets out, the window rolls down and he just hears this incoherent screaming in his direction, right? Like it takes him a little bit to even make out what's being said, but whoever is in the car is apparently not happy to see him at all. "What is your tractor doing in the road, you stupid redneck hillbilly? You have till the count of 10 to move that tractor or I'm calling the police. Do you have any idea how late I already am? The last thing I need is some back road loser like you coming and parking his tractor in front of me. This is insane. You wouldn't believe how late I am. You need to get this off the road now, blah, 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 blah." And obviously the person she's yelling at is a little bit awestruck, like just by how rude the interaction has started off. Here he was literally getting out to come check, make sure everything's okay. Now he's being told he's a redneck hillbilly for having a tractor. So he's just kind of standing there for a second, processing this wave of insults that just rushed over him, when like she goes in again. "Hello, I'm talking to you standing there. I said move your tractor now, you idiot." And the only thing he says back is like, "Who are you?" You know, just a genuine question, because it's a small town. It's not like there's a lot of strangers around. And listen, I'm not saying it's the best first question to come out of his mouth, but it was the first question out of his mouth. But for some reason, she kind of took it as a challenge to drop every flex ever. "I'm a lawyer from," you know, and she said the town nearby. I'm not gonna dox the dude. "And I'm here looking for property because I want land, but these stupid dirt roads make no sense, and you have tractors on the road like that's something logical. Get it off the road now." And obviously, he's just kind of laughing, and he starts explaining. He's like, "Yeah, well, if you're looking for property out here, a lot of it's gonna be farmland or woods, so it's gonna be a lot of underdeveloped dirt roads. That's what it's like here, and like a lot of people have tractors, so if you really hate these on the road, I don't know if this is the area for you." And her response is just, "Well, I'm glad you morons like it here, but I don't, so how about you move the tractor so I can get back to civilization?" Just being so mean for no reason. And he was getting really annoyed with how rude she was being, and he decided to tell her that she could probably get around the tractor. He had seen tons of these stupid moronic hillbilly farmers, like saying it as ironic as possible, be able to drive around the tractor, so it should be no problem for a big smart city girl like herself. And he was totally putting on the accent and everything, just trying to be as annoying as humanly possible. You know, imagine you're driving a tractor and someone's like, you're an idiot, you're stupid, you don't know anything, and then asks you to move it. Just be like, gee, I don't know how to move a tractor. That's hilarious, dude. But obviously she's not a fan of the trolling, and she's like, are you kidding me? Move it right now. You know it's actually illegal to have a tractor on the road, and I'm gonna have it impounded. And he's like, all right, go ahead and call the cops, dude. Go for it. He knows all the cops in the town. It's not a big town. And once again, the cops kind of understand that, like, they have to drive the tractor to their fields. It's on a dirt road. It's not on a main road. He's not at a stoplight. They know why his tractor is here. They're not going to come out there and be like, you can't be here. It's literally on his way to his field. And listen, I'm not going to blame lawyers for using the law argument because, you know, they assume they're the only people that know it. And two, most people don't know the law. Like, if you're a lawyer, you can just kind of be like, did you know that you're breaking the law? And most people will be like, I am? You know, most people aren't reading code books every day trying to figure out specifics. If I was a lawyer, I'd use this all the time too. I'd be like, oh, that's illegal. Yeah, you can't do that. I probably wouldn't, but you get what I'm saying, dude. Obviously, what he's doing isn't illegal, but I could understand why she's like, I'm a lawyer and you need to move this now. Not that she should act that way, but you know what I'm saying. Like, why she used that argument. All right, this is getting out of hand. Whatever. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm not siding with the Karen lawyer here. Anyways, at that point, she gets out of the car and he decides to get back into the tractor just so it can't escalate. And when he gets back into the tractor, she walks over and puts her hands on it and starts literally trying to push it into the field. And you know, I'm not an expert or a genius, but I will say tractor heavy, so it's not really moving very well. I just feel like as someone who's, you know, looked at a tractor before, it should be pretty obvious that you can't really just push it into a field. I just feel like they're pretty heavy. It's one of those things that would be pretty difficult to do. You know, maybe if you're a bodybuilder or something, but I'm not pushing a tractor, and there's no way this lady in like her high heels is pushing a tractor. No offense. High heels are just not the shoes to be wearing when you're pushing a tractor. You need some grip. You got to get some New Balances on, you know? Then you got a chance. After about 15 seconds of her trying really hard with all of her might to push this tractor into the field, he's like, I don't think you can move the tractor. He's not trying to be mean. He's just like, look, like no one can push this tractor. Like it's huge. And she looks at him and just goes, move it? No. And the way she does now is literally like a growl, howl thing so loud that if there was a Bigfoot nearby, it would be like, brother, you know. And at that point, a huge smile comes across like the kid's face in the tractor because it's just funny, dude. Imagine someone getting out, like screaming at you for having a tractor in your field and then is like, move it. And you're like, you can get around it. So they start trying to literally push your tractor out of the way. Tell me that wouldn't be funny, you know? But whatever, he decides to move it. And so he goes and drives right past her car without hitting it, without doing anything, proving that she could have just driven around him. She had just gotten out of the car to push the tractor for no reason. And so when she realizes that he wasn't kidding and she literally could have just driven by the tractor and had no issue at all, it's obvious she's a little embarrassed, but you know, full Karen mode can never admit it. So she just starts being like, how did you do that? How did you do that? And he's like, what do you mean? I drove by your tractor. I told you we had enough room to get by each other if we went slow. And she's like, no, there's literally no way that tractor would have been able to move by my car. I'm an expert. Like, I know these things. There's no way that could have happened. Did you have my car moved somehow? And he's like, while we were arguing, did I have your car moved like 6 inches so I could drive past it? No. Like, you got to be jumping through some mighty big hoops to be like, aha. Well, he did say he could drive by it. He drove by it, right? But therefore, there's like some secret conspiracy with a bunch of elves that move cars 6 inches to the right so tractors can drive by. I'm just not understanding. Like, okay, she's trying to push the tractor herself. She's feeling like her car got pushed. Is she married to Superman or something? Like, is she actually just the strongest person to ever exist and we don't know it? You know, she was just holding back on the tractor here. She could have thrown it at him, but she decided to show restraint in this one instance. I don't know, bro. This This entire thing is funny. I just feel like cars don't be moving like that on the regular unless you're just on something or insanely ripped, like Superman strength. If all of a sudden I found out that, like, when my mom, was alone and there wasn't a parking spot, she just got out and threw the car that was in the parking spot so she could park there, I don't know if I would be horrified or impressed, but it seems like this lady might be someone who has those skills, dude. Moving cars and tractors comes easily to her. I don't know what you're supposed to do with that strength other than, like, sign up for the government and be a nuclear missile yourself, like you're just hurling nukes with your arms because you're so ripped. Regardless, he confirms to her that he did not, in fact, move her car, and she starts yelling about how he definitely moved her car, and at this point, he's crossed the line into destruction of property, and she's gonna call the cops. And he's like, you know what? Go for it. If you're gonna start saying that I'm, like, destroying your very expensive brand new car, yeah, I'd rather have some people here to settle this because I'm not trying to be on the hook for a massive repair bill. So she calls, and he just is sitting in his tractor waiting, and it's taking forever because, it's the countryside. It's not like they have a crap ton of people ready to go handle this stuff. And after about 25 minutes, a guy pulls up with no lights on, clearly not too worried about it. And as soon as he gets out of the car, the Karen just starts yelling that, like, he moved my car, he moved it. I swear he found a way to move my car so his tractor could get by. This is insane. And the officer is like, what's going on? Like, hello, nice to meet you. I just walked up. What is happening? And she says that she was on this road looking at property and she was going to leave and the tractor was in the way and blocked her in and started making threatening noises. And she was afraid that he was going to run over her car like a tank if she didn't get out of the car because he was being so threatening. Lady, it's not a tank. It's not a monster truck. Like, I mean, call me crazy, but I don't know how she got there. Like, he literally got out and came to check if everything was okay because she was honking and he thought something was wrong. How do you take that as he's going to slam on the gas and crush my car? The cop's like, all right, well, okay, that's not good. And she's like, so I got out to confront him, and somehow when I was out of the car confronting him, he must have had a way to move it a few inches because now I'm not blocked in and he'd been able to drift by. But she's 100% sure that she was blocked in before. So, magic. That's the only explanation as to how they've gotten here. Listen, I'm not saying it wouldn't be scary if you were cornered by a tractor. Obviously, that would be horrifying, but that's just not really what went down here. Like, if there was some psychopath rolling around just boxing people in with his tractors, by all means, have him arrested, lock him in jail, throw away the key. But if some dude's just driving to his field and you just don't want to go slow around him, so you're just like, nah, homie was trying to block me in, that's kind of not cool. I also love how she said threatening noises from the tractor. Like, what threatening noises could even be coming from it? Oh, the price of gas. Whoa, like, that's pretty scary. Okay, that's threatening. I don't have a tractor. I'm not sure if they have a horn. I'm just not understanding what threatening noises could be coming from the tractor. Oh, I've got a knife. I'm a tractor. Like, I don't think they can talk, bro. I just don't really understand how you're going to be afraid of just an inanimate object making threatening noises. Anyways, he kind of gets the statement from her, and obviously he comes to talk to the kid a bit, and he's like, I didn't move the car. I have no clue how I would have done that. And the cop's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't move the car because, one, it's a car, and she says that you pushed it a few inches, but I feel like there would be tracks of some sort if you pulled the car. Like, we're on a dirt road. You would definitely see where the tires had been dragged back, There's no marks from the tires sliding, which I love was his proof, not the fact that this kid clearly could not push a car. He's like, well, you could have pushed the car for sure, but there's no marks, so that's how we know you didn't do it. No, you should just look at him and be like, oh, this isn't an Olympian. There's no way that he's single-handedly pushing a car without being noticed. Even an Olympian, dude, if you got like the strongest dude in the world and you were like, shove that Range Rover a foot sideways, not neutral, we're talking sideways moving a car, I think it would be very difficult, let alone this dude doing it without getting noticed. Anyways, they talk for a bit and he goes back to the lady, and whatever he's telling to her, she's definitely not happy about it because she starts yelling like, well, he at least needs a ticket for driving a tractor on the road. I know that's illegal and not allowed. And so apparently he had told her like, okay, we're not going to have him arrested for boxing you in with the tractor because we just don't really feel like that's what went down here. And apparently when he said, no, I don't think this kid is a crazy tractor maniac and I'm not going to arrest him and take him to prison, her response was then, at least give him a ticket, which to me goes to show that she's just kind of out for some revenge. Like, if she's genuinely like, no, this guy's a maniac with the tractor. If the cop's like, okay, well, I'm not going to arrest him, I would be freaking out. My first thought wouldn't be like, maybe we should give him a ticket, a financial fine, perhaps. He's a maniac with a tractor. A ticket's not going to do anything. And he says he's not going to give him a ticket either. Like I said, the cops around here kind of get how it is. Like, what is he supposed to do, bro? If he starts fining people for driving their tractors on roads that you could get by them on, like, the farmers are going to be pissed. If the farmers are pissed and they stop making food, good luck getting any groceries, huh? Imagine there's a new law passed. It's like, if you are within 30 miles of a Range Rover, no tractors may be operated, okay? We've made a software that literally prevents tractors from turning on if cars are in the vicinity. Good luck. Food supplies go to zero. We all just like starve. No, thank you. Anyways, she says something about how, like, if they're not going to do anything, then everyone around here is a bunch of stupid hillbillies, and she's not buying land here. So they could thank themselves for the amount of money that wasn't going to be coming to this community. And they're kind of like, okay, thanks, I guess. Like, sure, it would have been cool if you built a giant mansion here, but if you also hate tractors, it's probably not for you. I'm sure they're like money in their town, but they also probably wouldn't like having the cops called on them for doing their jobs every day. Like, this is literally the equivalent of moving into the neighborhood, seeing your neighbors, like, I don't know, outside, calling the cops on them, and then when they show up and they're like, who called the cops? Oh, the new guy, threatening to move out of the neighborhood unless they, like, change their behavior. And they're like, dude, you've been here for a day. Why'd you call the cops on me? We don't even know each other. Of course you should move out. I don't like living next to you. No one wants to live next to the person who hates them. It's just not what anyone wants to do. Anyways, she hops back into her car and peels out, and obviously they're on a dirt road, so it kind of kicks up dust everywhere, and it's just a little bit of coughing, sneezing, like a little bit. And he flies past the cop car down the dirt road, and the cop just walks back over to the kid, and he's like, you know, I haven't really had to deal with a real Karen before, but that was something. And the kid asks, he's like, well, what did she want you to do about it? Like, she was asking about, if not that, then the ticket, but like, what did she want to do before? And he confirms that she had wanted him to get arrested for, like, menacing, I guess, and like the being threatening with the tractor, which is not even a real thing. I don't think that's a crime. You know, I'm sure threatening people is a crime. Like, that's a crime. But she said specifically, I want him charged with threatening with a tractor, which to me is hilarious. Like, imagine getting in front of the judge. You're charged with threatening with a tractor. Is this true? You're like, yeah, listen, man, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Anyways, he's obviously then says that she also wanted him fined for moving the car. And at that point, the kid literally flexed his muscles. He's like, yeah, you know me, my standard workout's just pushing cars around. And obviously they both laughed because it's like, yeah, this dude was just not pushing a car 6 inches sideways. It just wasn't gonna happen. He's not an Avenger, okay? Like, what do you think he is? Captain America out here punching the side of a Toyota and it like caving in on itself? Anyways, he went back to his field and started doing his job. And as he finished up, he saw a car coming down the road when he was on the way back home. And obviously he's a little bit nervous that it's gonna be the Range Rover again just because he doesn't want to have another interaction. But sure enough, it ends up being just like another farmer in a truck. And this is like just the sweetness of it, right? So he slows down a bit, the other guy slows down, and they go right past each other. And the dude's truck was way bigger than a Range Rover. You know, no fighting, no arresting necessary, just slowing down for 2 seconds. Regardless, he ends up getting back home and he sits down on the couch to watch TV. And when he turns it on, he can't really believe what he's seeing because the lady earlier who had been yelling that, like, she's a lawyer from this town, you know, and she's looking for property and blah, 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 blah. She certainly was a lawyer because her commercial was now on the TV in front of the dude that she had just been, like, yelling at for driving a tractor. I think that every area has their local lawyer that's like, I'm in a wreck, come get paid, baby, you know? I can think of like 7 lawyers in Las Vegas who just have an obnoxious commercial every 25 seconds on television. I still remember some phone numbers from when I was a kid around here, dude. Like, everybody knows the type of commercials I'm talking about. But sure enough, she's on TV doing her whole, you know, if you're ever in a situation where you gotta sue someone, come use me. And listen, hey, she's probably a good lawyer, right? Like, no judgment off that. It's just the irony of, like, seeing this commercial when you were just getting yelled at is kind of funny. And what's very interesting about the commercial, though, is the whole Karen persona was gone. You know, she's like, my firm can provide some of the best care and compassion in the business, which is a good ad. I'm not gonna lie. That would make me want to hire the law firm, but it's hilarious if you're the person that just got the cops called on you for, like, existing and owning a tractor. You probably would be a little bit confused. Like, where's that compassion for me, huh? You know, seriously though, I'm sure she's a really good lawyer. If anything, I would want to hire a Karen as a lawyer, right? Like, that's how you really get stuff done, bro. Because she's going to get in there and the judge is going to be like, da-da-da, no! And he's going to be like, all right, you're right. Yeah, I don't want to fight with her. Karens are not fun to fight with, dude. I feel like that's the type of personality you want as a lawyer, you know? Like, that type of personality. Either way, though, I just thought this was an entertaining story, so I figured I would share it with you, y'all. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought, and of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help me out, I'll put a link to my podcast, the Scuffedcast, down below, along with a link to the G Fuel website where you could use code SCRUBBY to get yourself a little bit of a discount. Beyond that, I do post my story times on Spotify so you can listen offline without gameplay, whatever floats your boat. That link's going to be in the top of the description, so be sure to check it out. And there's also a link to the merch store down in the description as well, so if you really want to help me out, go ahead and get yourself one of those. But yeah, on that note, guys, that'll really do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and hopefully I'll see each and every single one of you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.